Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Ancient Legends Challenge. In the last episode, our heat-bodied prince Starwisp was unfortunately wounded by the Berryina lurking in the grasses. He lost a little bit of his lifespan because of it. He only has 15 days remaining now, which seems like quite a bit compared to some of our other creatures. But his family just can't bear to see him pass before his time because his destiny is far too great. So they've taken it upon themselves to find a healer of some sort, somebody who can heal those wounds for him, bring him back to his old self. And they found some promising knowledge from the family that lived by the stinky fruit trees. Shelby's father, in fact. I think his name was Kuvan? Yeah, we found him here by the stinky fruit tree originally. He was one of the wanderers of Whale Island. So we figured maybe he knows a little bit more about healing than our tribe would. Maybe he's seen his fair share of Purrsnouts. Maybe he knows a little bit more about the healing fruits on previous islands. Granted, our tribe has actually found a few. They were known to lurk about some of the mountains, the ones with shelters made of grasslands. So there is the possibility that our tribe could find them again once they do make the move. But we're going to have to find somebody who knows how to work their magic, of course. So we'll still try our best to unlock the Purrsnout before we leave. But I did forget to name one of the babies here, and that's because we found a brand new wanderer in the process. Komeana? I think that's what we're going to call her. Komeana is very special. She's one of the very first blind creatures that we've seen in quite some time. Granted, the rest of her genetics aren't very great. She has double no paws, so she's not going to help us out very much with collecting. She also has a little bit of hemophilia, some low fertility, but the blind eyes truly have me intrigued. If you guys didn't know, having blindness on your creature actually gives them a buff in smelling and hearing, so she is actually like the ultimate little scout in a way. Combined with her big nose, she should have an amazing sense of smell. She can smell 5 tiles away. I mean, I think she has a sense of smell that could actually rival the apes in the jungle. So I'm wondering if we could actually take advantage of that. If we do start a family with her, maybe we could try to figure out a way to weasel the blindness onto their babies. I know that sounds so strange because normally you would want to keep that away from your babies. But as long as we keep very good track of where it is in our inactive traits, I don't think it'll take over our tribe too much. Of course, because she's blind, she will need somebody who can see to help guide her through the grasses. But I think Avalanche is definitely up for the task. I feel like these two are quite smitten with each other. If not just for his beautiful singing, she is also very, very pretty. But now, without further ado, let's go ahead and name this poor little baby. I completely forgot to name him in the last episode. So the next name on my list is Shadowfire. You know, the more I think about it, that's actually quite fitting for him too. Both of his parents have passed away now, so he's kind of going to get swept up beneath the wing of Starwisp most likely. Rayleigh and Katniss are both about to pass away too, so it's going to be all up to him to lead the tribe over to the ports once more. Do we have any more of that stinky fruit juice to lick off? It looks like Shelby is okay right now, so I guess you could just go ahead and pick up the grass around the area. That way the babies will be safe. And of course, Diego was heading off for the roots. He can dig pretty well. Maybe not as well as his mother because he doesn't have the digging trunk, but he's still going to try his best to prove himself. Oh geez, and speaking of proving yourself, Shiny Luna. Maybe this would be your opportunity? You can lunge in here and grab that bunny for us. Florence can pick up the meat for you. Oh, and it looks like we found another one of the stumps over here too. And I think she may have picked up the root instead, so she can grab that meat in the next turn. I didn't know we had a stump so close to the stinky fruit tree. Maybe we could take advantage of that as well. Sing a couple mournful songs from Starwisp before we move on. Because despite his injuries, I feel like he's going to want to move on very, very soon. He's not the type to just sit around and mope all day, and he knows that no amount of hoping or wishing is going to find him his cure. He has to go out and do that himself. So I think that's what he's going to try to explain to his family too. As we go ahead and pass the day, and unfortunately say goodbye to our girl on fire, our very, very first heat body. Even the whale is sad. I love it when he sings when one of our creatures passes away. Did they actually make that part of the game? Or is it just really lucky that he sings every single time somebody passes? Well, before we go any further, let's just go ahead and sniff around. I didn't hear anything dangerous spawn, but I guess there is always the possibility, as we're getting much lower in population, that a brand new wanderer might come out to find one of their own. I wonder if anybody out there is looking for you, little Komeana. I suppose since she does need so much help getting around, maybe she had somebody traveling side by side with her. But of course she abandoned them as soon as she heard Avalanche's singing. But can you really blame her? He's been practicing for quite some time. I wonder if Glacier Paw would be a little bit worried about this. Like, Komeana is pretty weak and sickly. She's certainly not what you would expect of an ancient legend. Now, like Glacier Paw and Avalanche, would she only bring ruin to their family? That's probably what's running through the back of his mind, and he can see quite easily how smitten they are with each other. But Avalanche, I don't think he would care. To be honest, he's had enough of his family leading him around. He still doesn't even think that his mother believed in him, so he's going to take his own path now. I don't know if Komeana can even pick up the meat. Oh, she can. Excellent. So you found a way to contribute beyond your extreme senses after all? Since Avalanche has so much trouble getting around, if he takes down any bunnies, you can hop on over and pick up the meat for him. Well, that's pretty cool. It just goes to show that these two make an excellent team together. Maybe he could even teach her how to sing like he does. Oh, look at all the berries you have back here, Mammoth. I guess it's a good thing that you decide to stay behind after all. He has even more on the shriveled up berry bush than he does on the normal ones. That's kind of funny. I guess we're doing a pretty good job taking care of the bunnies then. It doesn't look like they're really bothering him anymore. Oh, but they are certainly bothering his son. Oh, poor Rex. No wonder you're so distracted. Well, Shiny Luna, I guess now's your chance to at least swipe down more of these berry bushes. She discovered in the previous episode that she can take down the poison berry bushes. Since we can't use them to gather food from, it kind of works out better if we just tear them down. I also kind of wonder if those leaves are a bit better on the babies. Like, since we do get some nesting material out of them, maybe that's why our tribe considers them to be so valuable. I mean, they kind of look like they would be a little bit more cushy. As long as they're not like poison ivy, at least. As long as they're not going to give our babies any terrible rashes. Oh, those bunnies, Rex. If one would just hop a tiny bit closer to you, I'm sure you would be so happy. I think you're gonna have to call Florence in for this one, but I kind of want her to pick up the grass here first. In fact, maybe clearing this out would be a good way for Starwisp to notice them, and a great way to distract the bunnies too. Excellent. One bunny down for you, Rex. So as he abandons the stinky fruit tree, we'll have Starwisp climb right on top of this high stump, and that'll actually bring him face to face with his sister Shiny Luna again. Now, Luna was meant to be the protector of her family. She was kind of taking up the role of the Saber Soldiers, in fact. But since she got a little bit distracted by her crush, she didn't even realize that her brother had gotten into a battle. I wonder how that would make her feel? Of course, she would be very, very upset. She'd probably think that she's not even doing her job right. So maybe she'll put this little crush behind her for now that she's older and wiser, and she'll try her best to protect her brother from here on out. So with one last song, perhaps as a goodbye to his own mother too, we'll have Shelby collect a couple more of those stinky fruits. I feel like it would be really hard to convince her to give up, but really, she's just going to sit here and listen to her son, knowing that despite his wounds, he's still going to make an excellent leader for our tribe. I guess we'll bring little Shadowfire over here too. He could sit next to his brother while he sniffs around for more roots. Unfortunately, Diego isn't going to be able to take down any of the bunnies. He only has a 1 in strength, so I think he's going to have to leave the bunny collecting to Shadowfire instead. Maybe you could clear out the grasses then. That way your little brother will be able to hop around a bit more easily, chasing after the bunnies as he goes. But otherwise, I think we're all out of turns again. So unfortunately this time, we're going to be saying goodbye to yet another one of our heat bodies, as they just drop like flies. Oh, and as the whale sings again. That must have been coded into the game. When one of our creatures passes away, it's happened far too many times now. Oh, and it's going to happen again? Mammoth, you're next? Oh, it's all happening at once. Well then, we desperately need to get started on our next family. The one that might just be able to hunt down those healing fruits once we make it to the mountains. So we're going to do something that we don't often try. We're going to place the blind eyes into Avalanche's first slot. Now this is going to mess with any future babies that he has too. Even if he does, for some strange twist of fate, decide to take on a different mate. But to be honest, I think he's probably going to stay with Komeana until the end of his days. It feels like these two were kind of made for each other. Now, he has the Hammertail in his inactive traits, but of course Komeana doesn't. Granted, she does have the Peacock tail, so I guess if she passed that instead, we would probably see the Hammertail, as long as that swimming tail doesn't weasel onto their babies. The swimming tail is really useless in the mountains. We don't really have any water genes, so it doesn't make much of a difference to our ancient legends. But for Komeana, while we are going to focus on trying to keep those no-paws off of her babies, I also want to place the digging trunk into her second slot too. Now I believe the digging trunk gives them the exact same smelling boost, so even if they do end up having the big nose instead, it wouldn't be too bad. But just for the sake of the Ancient Legends challenge, it would probably be better off if our blind babies had the digging trunk. It'll also give them the chance to dig up some more food for the tribe as well, so it's kind of like a win-win. Now go ahead and breed with Avalanche. Hopefully. Ooh, I didn't expect it to take that many tries. In fact, I would kind of like you guys to make your way a bit closer to the northern ports before you settle down and have your babies. So maybe we could bring you up to these nests. The one right by the tree actually, and right by the blowhole too. We'll see if Avalanche can guide you up there. And Glacier Paw too if he has a change of heart. It must be so hard for him. I mean, he wants his son to be happy. That was why he came over here in the first place, to make sure that he wasn't too sad after his mother's passing. But at the same time, he wants the tribe to be strong. So this has him very, very concerned. He doesn't know whether to put his foot down or to just let it be. Oh, and there's the other bunny. Yes, Rex. Oh, food for days for you over here. I mean, that would impress anybody. You gotta admit, Luna picked the right creature to fall for, but now she is going to take her duty much more seriously. She's not going to waste her time on Rex if he isn't going to notice her, and instead she's going to lead her brother to safety. So with the few turns that they have, let's have them start making their way straight down the center of Whale Island. Of course, Florence is going to follow too. I feel like she feels quite committed to little Luna, almost like she's truly her daughter. She's taken care of her from such a young age that it's really no surprise. We'll want to have them call the babies over too though. We don't want little Shadowfire or Diego getting too far away. And even though we will be abandoning the stinky fruit tree, there are still plenty more up by the ports, so we'll still have the chance to finish off the licking actions for the birds now. I guess for now we'll have you pick up the rest of those stinky fruits. That's actually all that we have to work with anyways, so it makes sense that they would want to move on, leaving behind the remains of all of their ancestors. So many creatures have passed away by these trees. It's going to make it extra hard for Shelby to move on, but she knows it must be done. Maybe she was even feeling inspired after hearing Starwisp's speech. They can't just sit around all day, they have to go out and take action. Now I know that Diego is going to want to follow his nose. Excellent. And it looks like it's taking him right next to his brother after all. So we'll sit him down right next to that root, so we can pick that up on the next turn. And then I guess, Shelby, you're kind of going to be guiding our creatures this way. Maybe guiding Shadowfire straight toward the bunnies, since he's the one who should be able to take them down. But once again, we should be out of turns. So this time we're going to say a very sad goodbye to poor little Mammoth, all on his own by his berry bushes. He always did love collecting berries though, and we know that he kept them safe from the bunnies to the very bitter end. Now let's see how far little Komeana can get. We'll bring her up this way, right past Glacier Paw. But then the darkness becomes a little bit too overwhelming. She's so close though. I wonder if just with Glacier Paw's help, maybe that'll be enough? Oh yes. Oh, maybe he did have a little change of heart then. Yeah, I mean, this is his son, and this is his son's happiness. So in the end, I guess he kind of has to let it go. Avalanche's happiness is going to have to be enough. Now thank goodness we noticed this bunny before he stole all of your berries again, Rex. Oh, he was going straight for those. The bunnies are getting reckless. They are fearless on Whale Island. I think we will have this group veer off toward this tree, however. Not only will they have some stumps to set up on, but it'll give Shelby the chance to try again to work her magic. Actually, she's still pretty stinky. Wonder if anybody would notice? Maybe Florence? She could scoot up here to help her out on the next turn. She does have the digging trunk too, so her sense of smell is quite great. And I'm not sure that she ever got the chance to taste one of those sweet stinky fruits. Maybe Shelby will have to offer them up to her, just so she can taste it before they leave. It is a delicacy to our tribe after all. So we'll have Starwisp lead everyone off this way. Oh, and straight to the bunnies too. Oh Luna, this could be your chance. Always falling just a little bit too short. At least it's not a mole this time though. The moles have left her pretty much traumatized, but I don't see any areas for them to spawn up here. So maybe if you're lucky, Luna, you will never have to see a little mole popping out of the ground again. Now I think all we have left is Shelby and her brothers. So you have a route to dig up Diego, I know that for sure. And then I guess we'll have you follow your nose again. Though it actually looks like there aren't any more routes out here. Well, I guess that's a good reason for you to migrate from this area then. You only have the bunnies. I guess maybe Shadowfire could lunge over here and grab this for you? There you go. You two are working together too. We'll have Shelby clear out the grass so everybody can move through freely, but otherwise we should be ready to skip the day. So let's see if this baby in the nest is going to be particularly lucky to our cause. Sitting next to Grandfather Glacier Paw too. Well, that's kind of sweet. He'll get the chance to know his grandchildren before he passes. And it looks like this one does have the blindness, just like her mother. And she also has the digging trunk too, and those grand horns. Yes, so she is quite the little ancient legend. Oh my gosh, and she even has the hammer tail. She's one of our most decorated ancient legends, despite the curse of her blindness. And honestly, with that digging trunk involved, it's not going to be much of a curse at all. She should be able to sniff out all of those healing fruits for us, if there are any for us to find once we make it to the mountains. So the next name on my list is Genevieve. Ooh, that is such a pretty name. Welcome to our tribe, little one. A beautiful name for a beautiful digging trunk. It'll be interesting to see how she does once we do actually get to the mountains too. She doesn't have very much cold resistance on her. She'll only have a 1 actually once she grows, when she's no longer a baby. So she'll probably have to stick very close to our flames. I mean, she's gonna have to stick close anyway so somebody can guide her, just so she can actually move through the darkness. But maybe it would be a good idea for us to kind of merge these families together. I wonder what Starwisp is going to think once he sees them. Well, we have another nest here, so maybe it would be a good idea for us to have them breed again. But first, I just want to sniff around to make sure. Then nothing has spawned. Oh my goodness, there is a bird lurking behind our nest. A literal bird. The beak, the wing, and the peacock tail. Oh my gosh. Oh, who was going to discover this baby? Maybe Glacier Paw? Maybe Komeana would notice that there's something lurking behind them, so she would very timidly ask if he could check. Oh no, and he's running away. Oh, little Cuckoo the chocolate bird. How adorable does he look? Oh, you simply must invite him to the tribe. No, don't run away from us, little one. He probably thinks that we're trying to like scare him off or something. I mean, he's so young. I wonder how long he's been off on his own. Oh, maybe he even fell from one of these trees. Maybe his mother built a nest up here and he fell down when our tribe arrived. Oh, the poor little thing. We can't lose sight of him. He is far too precious for us to lose. I wonder if one of our other creatures could catch up to him faster. I mean, Glacier Paw is just about to pass away. Maybe this would be a job better left to Shadowfire. He is a little bit younger anyways, so maybe he could convince him that we're not a threat. If we bring Shadowfire this way, well, he's not exactly going in the direction that I was hoping, but maybe these two can just chat it up overnight and get to know each other better. You can convince him that everybody just wants to help him out. We're not looking to munch on any little baby chocolate birds today. So hopefully in the next episode we can bring him into our tribe for real, because I would love to see those wings in our babies. That was one of the things that we were hoping we would get to see before we went to the next mountain, so it's quite fitting that we ended up finding him right before we reached the ports. Now just to give you guys a heads up, I am planning on ending Season 1 of the Ancient Legends Challenge once we do reach the ports up here, once we're ready to set sail for the next mountain in our journeys. It won't be for good, of course, but the series will be going on a little hiatus, just to give me some time to think of some more stories for our tribe, and to give us a little bit of a break before we go back to searching for some more ancient genes. So in the meantime, I'm hoping to start a brand new challenge, and I'd love it if you guys could help me decide which one to choose. If you head over to the community tab on my channel, I've set up a poll for you guys between the Lone Wolf Challenge and the Warrior Catch Challenge. Now I do plan on doing both of these challenges in the future. This poll will just decide which one we focus on first, so don't worry if yours doesn't get chosen. We will eventually give it a try, but I hope that you guys are looking forward to both of them nonetheless. I'm really itching to try something new again, and I think this will be a great way to revive my inspiration for the series. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!